I took the DALF C1 exam after only 2 years of independent French study. I guess I'm sharing my experience with the exam today. You can probably sense a little bit of resistance because the test isn't something that I really wanted to talk about online because of how embarrassing my score is. But I feel like in the spirit of transparency, in the spirit of my channel, I'm no one special. I just really wanted to learn French and I wanted to move to France. And so I was willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. And when you take this test, you can put yourself on the path to French citizenship. Now, you only need the DALF B2, the DALF B2, which is intermediate, advanced, like upper intermediate. I was challenged and encouraged by my italki teachers to take the DALF C1. And at that point, I had been studying pretty independently for about 2 years. And so I decided to just listen to them, believe in myself, and take the test. Now, what happened next was a little unpredictable, but I'm just really grateful I passed. And today I'm sharing with you guys my experience with taking the test and kind of the things that I did to pass, the resources I used. And if you watch until the very end, only if you watch until the very end for my loyal cocottes, I'm going to be sharing with you my embarrassingly low score, which I swore I would never do. And I'm going to share the one actual tip that I'm pretty sure is the only reason why I passed. So you're not going to want to miss it. Okay, so I took the test I signed up in January. I took the test on March 15th. And so that means I had like a little under 2 months to study very strategically. The test is 4 parts over 2 days. So it's reading comprehension and oral comprehension on day 1. And then you have to write an essay or 2 essays. I don't exactly remember. And then the second day is your speaking day. And this is a really intense, like 4-hour day where you have to take 2 topics and like combine them and synthesize them. And this would be hard for me to do in English. I'll be honest. I hate taking tests. I don't like school. I mean, school's fine, whatever. But it would be hard for me to do in English, but in French, it was like a real mindfuck. So you take 2 topics, you have to summarize them, and then you also have to present this to a panel of 3 or 4 judges in a synthesis to them, and then they ask you questions about it and they kind of poke holes in your argument. And so that's the second day. I'm going to link all the resources that I used below in the description. I'm not really going to go into like super detailed, but basically I studied by taking a bunch of practice tests. I crammed a ton. I was working full time, like planning this massive event, so I didn't have like too much time to study during the day, but I did practice tests on the weekend, and then I watched all these different YouTubers. There's so many different French teachers here online that teach the technicalities of how to actually study for this test, and I watched pretty much all their videos and basically did everything they said. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not a French teacher. I'm just sharing my experience with you and the resources I use to how I passed this test. So I basically did all these things that these YouTubers said to do for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I watched videos like this of people who said that they passed and how they passed and just kind of basically copied them. Now, these people who are talking about it online, they passed with way higher scores than I did. So maybe you should go watch some of their videos, but that doesn't really matter because I still got the diploma, and that diploma literally changed my life and is kind of like unlocked a key to my life here in France. So it doesn't really matter that my score was so low. I still consider myself to have a C1 language because I have an official attestation de réussite. I did a bunch of practice tests online, and that was basically all I did. And like I replaced all my other methods of French studying with that. I took it here at Sorbonne University in March, it's like a famous university, very old university here in France. And that was really cool to go and like kind of feel like I was a university student again. The second day was a little bit rough. Like the speaking was so tough because the first part, like the comprehension, the oral comprehension and the writing comprehension, I'm not really going to go too much into because it was basically like taking a standard test. Like you have your paper, you read the instructions. The instructors only talk to you in French. You're not going to speak any English this whole day or listen or hear any English this whole day. So be prepared. Which, I mean, if you're C1, you're good, but no English, and all the instructions, all the consignes are completely in French. Just know that. And then the second day as well, it's all in French, and just know that bathroom breaks are very, very limited. I remember I tried to go to the bathroom and I was told no, I couldn't go, and I really had to go. So when I took the speaking test, I was like kind of struggling, like distracted. And then all the judges, like some of them had masks, or maybe all of them had masks. So their voices were muffled, which made understanding them quite hard. So it was just like I was just sweating, and there was often times where I didn't know what to say, and so I would have to take a long pause. But because I watched this YouTuber's advice, he said whenever you don't know what to say or you have to take a long pause, like it's okay to talk slowly, it's okay to take a pause, just act like you're taking a sip from a drink, and use like a filler sentence like OK, ça c'est une très bonne question. Il faut que je réfléchisse un peu. And then you take a sip of water, and that buys you instantly like 10 more seconds. So I did that a lot like during my speaking test. The best piece of advice that I got on how to pass and how to do well on the speaking part in particular of the DALF C1 exam is put yourself in the shoes of your interviewers, of your judges. So they've been taking tests all day long, probably for the whole week. They're tired, they're over it. And so one girl gave me this advice. She was like, just be really lovely when you meet them. Be a refreshing breath of fresh air and treat them like humans. Go in, say bonjour. Ça c'est très important. C'est comment allez-vous? Comment s'est passé vos journées? And they're going to feel like instantly connected to you and kind of want to see you succeed. And so I definitely did that. I used this advice. I went in there and I said bonjour. I smiled and I said comment allez-vous or something just generic, and they responded to me, and they were like a little like taken aback that I was like not so nervous and that I was like smiling and presented someone who was just excited to be there. So I would say that was my number one tip, and I literally think that's the reason that I passed. To pass the DALF C1 exam, you need a 50 over 100. And already that's pretty generous score, I would say. Like when I went to school in the States, getting a 70 was like a C, and getting below a 60 was failing. So if you just get a 50 and above, you're golden. And my score on the DALF C1 is, drumroll please, 50.5. Yes, you heard it right. It's broken down into kind of like different sections. So I got a 15.5 over 25 on the compréhension de l'oral. I got a 16.5 over 25 on the compréhension des écrits, which means I could read. That was my highest score. I got a 9.5 over 25 on the production écrite, which is like my writing skills. And then on the production orale, I got a 9 out of 25. That was my lowest one. Speaking and writing, not my highest scores. I did way better in reading and writing. And yeah, all those added together got me a 50.5 over 100, getting me a passing diploma. My motto has always been C's to get degrees. I'm satisfied with that. I continue to study every single day, even though I fully live in Paris. I do Duolingo every day. I do my little lessons. I watch my YouTube videos. All the things that I do to study Spanish now, I still do for French. When you learn in your adult life, like you're going to be constantly learning. Like, there's never a day that I don't learn something new or a new word or a new expression. And that's kind of the beauty of living here now, is like I'm surrounded by it and I can talk to locals and etc. But I'm a lifelong student of French. Just because I got this C1 doesn't mean that I'm ever going to stop studying. I'm still so passionate about the language. If you're considering taking it, please do. There's so many free resources online to study. I know you can do it. I hope that me sharing the score kind of makes it more achievable in your mind. And I feel like a lot of the other people on the internet who talk about it did way better than me. So maybe if you want some better advice, go watch their videos. But this is just from one girl to another, letting you in on the tea. And I hope this video helps you. I know I'm not like the most official language learning expert you can help, but I feel like if a girl like me could do it, like so can you. Like I am so average. If I can take and study for this test and pass it and barely pass it, like so can you. And yeah, I was trying to get a better score. Yeah, I didn't want to make a 50.5. Like I wanted to make 100, but I am proud of myself. I am proud of myself for taking the test, and I was able to use the diploma that I got and apply for jobs and to interview in French. I did all my interviews in French when I was getting a job here. I use the diploma that I have for my visa as well. Like, I sent it to the French government so they know that I'm taking the language seriously and I'm trying to integrate into the culture, and I really think that helped me get my visa approved. Yeah, you can use the diploma for so many different things as an étrangère here in France. And so if you're thinking about taking it, this is your sign. You can do it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.